You know what? Do you think we can get sued by Boys to Men?
Mm, I doubt it.
Yeah, well, fuck them
Probably not.
anyway.
Yeah, fuck them. Anyways, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode. Episode, I believe, 69. If
Bam, 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 bam.
my tally is correct here. Episode 69. We have
Mhm.
a lot to talk about today. I am your one half of the dynamic duo that is the Let Me Just Say podcast.
Yep,
I'm Giuseppe, and
you
this
are.
is my noble steed at @more_Dodgers Blues. What is it?
Hit it out the park, per usual.
Today is
Hey, Jesse.
Saturday, May 16th. Your name is Jesse. That's correct.
Ah, shit, today's the
And
16th.
and sports are still dead.
Hmm.
So, anyways, let's just get the elephant out of the room here, okay?
Yeah. Think you got something to talk about?
So here's the thing. I really need a haircut.
Yeah, you do,
And
man.
I sent my barber a text message that had a picture that included my face and my bad hair.
Uh
And I just said, "Bro, I am not okay." And
huh.
do you know when I sent that message? I'll tell you. May 6th. Do you know what today is?
It's the
May
16th.
16th.
Yep.
Exactly.
Mhm.
10 days.
That's rough.
NF left me on delivered.
Really? Well,
I
it's
don't know what
surprising that
that's.
not many people, I don't think, have their barber's personal phone number. So that's a unique um uh relationship that you have there. Because like most people, they just know the shop and make an appointment. But
Let me just say, I don't know if I know my barber's number either anymore. So
is
maybe I
he
got catfished. I don't.
is
Tough
he
to say on
still
these streets.
is he back on the grind?
No, no.
Uh,
There's this app.
you were
Uh,
trying to shame him into giving you a haircut, it sounds like.
Actually, I was trying to get him to respond to anything so I could then post a screenshot and be like, look how hilarious this
Oh
little
yeah.
interaction was. But
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just, but completely backfired on me. But anyways, so that's the big news. I still need a haircut.
Yeah.
Your
That's
thoughts?
it. That's all we needed to talk about.
I'm pretty sure that was it. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, it was a good show.
Yeah. All right. We'll hit the outro.
Thanks for everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you guys as listeners.
All right. All right.
Shit.
Enough of the shenanigans.
hmm
So
I
here's the
mean,
thing.
listen. So, if for anybody that's kind of confused about what Joe's talking about right now, we've had some major life changes happen to half of the Let Me Just Say podcast. And by life changes, I mean like not real life, just internet changes.
Mhm.
And the streets are going crazy right now, bro. I mean, you sent me that video and hit deactivate, and let me just say, there's conspiracy theories. I can't get that word out. There's
Yeah.
conspiracy theories flying everywhere. People think I'm the reason behind this.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that this is shameless self promotion, that we're pulling a stunt. Um, some people think maybe you've watched a little bit too much of The Last Dance and you're starting to feel like you have nothing left to prove, like Jordan.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of wild shit going on. There's songs being created about you, with
Yeah.
videos attached to them. There's threats being made to two different people have threatened me online that
Wow.
direct action will be get taken if I don't get
Yeah.
you back on Twitter. So,
Okay.
um,
Well, now
do
I
you want
don't.
to
I
talk
don't
about
even.
it or?
Yeah, I don't even know if I want to tell the truth now. I kind of let's just see how far this plays out. If their
I
dead
don't hate the
bodies end up
mystery.
in rivers, or
I don't
like
hate the mystery. I mean, I would love for someone to it's been so boring with no sports and nothing to do that at this point, I'm willing to allow someone to try and come murder me just for the fact that it might be a little bit of fun and just, give me something to do.
content. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So if
please,
anybody
please,
out there
please.
wants to try and kill me for having Joe leave the Twitterverse, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you could find me. I'm not very hard to look up. So let's make it happen.
It's true. And you work at the Best Western, as everybody knows. So, I mean,
Yep.
come
Which
meet me or whatever the kids say.
which we can duel it out in the King Suites, where the high rollers usually stay.
That's right. All right, all right. Enough screwing around. Okay, let's just get to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I, as you know, and probably most people that listen to this thing know, I'm a married man. Okay, and
Or to the game.
some yeah, married to the game and also to a woman. And so as my and this sounds really stupid, as my I'm doing the air quotes popularity kind of
Yep.
increased. I let my head get a little bit too big for my britches or whatever. And you know, when you're married to someone long enough, you don't even need to hear words. You kind of just go by reactions, subtleties,
Sure.
that kind of thing. And as I've been having correspondence with the missus these
Hmm.
last few, actually it's been going probably for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
She'll make a little comment here or there, and I'll be like, I know what that means, but I'm just gonna play ignorant here for a little bit. Anyways, so
Hmm.
yesterday there was another incident, and nothing serious. We're not on the rocks. The Seppi household has never been stronger. She
It's good to hear.
she act yeah she actually threatened me to stay on Twitter or else she was gonna do something irrational. That's a lie. She didn't threaten me with anything. But she told me she didn't want to be the cause of me getting off Twitter, but I was like, "No, this is all my fault. I don't know how to handle myself in a public forum such as this ridiculous social platform."
Yeah.
And I'm not setting a good example for my sons. And I
Okay.
don't even think they're on Twitter, but if they were, they'd be like, "What is he doing? Why is he talking like that? That's not my mom." You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Sure.
So it's not anybody's fault. It's certainly not your fault. It's my fault. 100% of the blame goes onto my shoulders. Although your shoulders would be better well equipped because of the monstrous real life traps you have going on.
I'm flexing right
Um,
now.
yeah, and you sound like you pooped a little bit. Are you okay?
I just pooped before the show. We're good.
Oh, sweet. So yeah, that's the bottom line of it. Is that to I don't know. I don't even know how to put it. It all sounds really ridiculous.
No, it doesn't sound ridiculous. And let me just say, can I comment on the situation?
Please, I need your comment.
Okay. So, I think you're a stand-up man for thinking about the love of your life versus just your addiction to Twitter.
Yeah.
And let me just say that I can understand where she's coming from, right? Like we're I don't know, people enjoy interaction with us. I'm not gonna try and sound like a jerk here and say that we're so cool, but we often get Twitter threads pop in and people talking to us, and I could see where even if she wasn't really expressing that, like you could possibly get in your feelings as a significant other when you see, it's something that I'm sure a lot of husbands and wives have to deal with someone who has mediocre fame, like you, like a mediocre podcast that brings mediocre fame. That they have to deal with. And that's kind of tough when you're on the outside looking in. So I could definitely see both sides where she's, actively telling you like, yo, it doesn't bother me, but you're reading past that because well, when you like you said, when you know somebody for 20 years, you basically don't even have to speak to communicate. So I can see that, but I can also see the side of you where you're like, well, she said it doesn't really matter, and that she wants me to stay, sorta, or like she's not saying like, hey, yo, quit, but you can just sense that the vibes there that and you don't, as the great man that you are and the dedicated husband, like you obviously don't want to create any hard feelings or any, you're out on the road. So I'm sure that puts a lot of stress on her as a wife and a mother and missing you and blah, 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 all that stuff that happens when you're away from the person you love. And I didn't mean blah, blah, blah in like a bad way there. But so I get it, man. Like, and like, it doesn't have to be that you're doing anything wrong per se. It's just, if someone's uncomfortable with a situation or even slightly or showing signs of it, and you love that person, you got to do what you got to do. So I respect it. Am I happy? No, I obviously love interacting with you on Twitter, but regardless, Jesse's going to be okay because he still has Joe in his life, whereas all these suckers out here, you don't have his phone number, bitches. And no, you know how many people already asked for it, Joe? Many. You know how many got it? Zero. I ain't giving out shit. You guys got to just listen to the podcast you want to hear from the Seppi. So,
Oh, damn, because I was just about to plug my YouTube channel and my Snapchat, my
well, they can
Instagram,
go there.
Facebook.
They can
Oh, okay.
they can go to all those channels. No one's getting Joe's phone number from me. Sorry.
Well, I
If he wants to
appreciate all
promote
those.
it on the
Yeah,
podcast, feel
yeah.
free. But yeah,
Nah,
tell
I'm
everybody
good.
else where they can find you though, for real, on other platforms that all they can do is just watch your content and not, do something else.
And then I'll just ignore them. Um, yeah, but anyway, first let me just thank you for the kind words.
Sure.
And yeah, that was another thing I was going to bring up is the fact that I am out here on the road a
Hmm.
lot, and so that already kind of puts a strain on
Yeah.
me. Not like we've never had trust issues. I trust her 100%. She trusts me. It's
Sure.
just when she sees things, she can't help but let her mind run a little bit crazy.
I mean, that's human.
Like anybody would. I would do the
Yeah.
same thing if I was in her shoes. Like I'm out here. It looks like I'm having a great time. She's there with 3 kids under quarantine. Whatever. I get it. So I didn't make it weird for her. I did not make her feel guilty in any way. I just say, hey, I'm going to do it. I should, I got a little too fast and loose with my Twitter actions, and
Mhm.
yeah, so it was a fun ride while it lasted. I appreciate the song that you showed me.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Braves fan, John, I believe his name is
Yeah, Jonathan.
Jonathan. Yeah, that was awesome. I laughed hysterically, and but anyway, yeah. So
Oh, yo, you know what?
yeah,
Let me just say, you hurt my feelings. You laughed hysterically at that, but you basically ignored my Jordan Photoshopped Sports Illustrated cover with your head
I
on it.
also I also laughed at that. What are you even
All
talking
right.
about?
What?
How did you get the back of my head? Where'd that come from?
I stalked your Facebook, bro.
Oh,
I was like, there's
nice.
got to be.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me just say, there's got to be a picture of the back of his head somewhere, and it must have
Oh
been
yeah.
you just got a fresh cut
Oh,
and you were
dude, when I
showing
get
off.
trust me, when I get a fresh cut once again when it happens,
You're gonna
Facebook,
kill it.
they're gonna have to block me from Facebook too. It's just gonna be all angles of fades on
And
the
dude, when I
Sepster.
saw it, let me just say, like my heart started racing. I was like, "Oh my god, this is the most perfect pic." Because I didn't expect to find the back of your head picture. I was like, "This is a wild shot," but like
Yeah.
maybe there's a shot, maybe there's a picture on Facebook. So let me go look, and boom, there it was, bro. And I almost
Uh,
tried to make Michael Jordan white, but I thought that might not be a great idea.
yeah, that might have been a little problematic. But yeah, so if you are really interested in seeing other versions of Giuseppe, you can I got a dumb YouTube channel. It's Giuseppe. I'm on Snapchat, as the kids say, Snap Face, as Bill Belichick says. I think it's Joe Beard 510.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know, man.
I don't even know
Whatever.
Snapchat.
Um, and then just whatever. Like I don't care if you find me, shoot me a friend request or something. Like my boy Riley Rakes, we're friends on Facebook too now, so no big deal. I've also got some text messages asking if I'm okay, if I'm locked in a trunk somewhere, and other things of that nature. And the good news is I'm fine. Everything's fine. We are fine. Are you fine?
Oh yeah, I'm perfectly fine right now.
Okay. Well, you're not
As
about to
speak.
be when I bring up. So we're done with all that.
Yeah, I mean
Everything's
that's
clear. The air is
I'm
cleared.
sure that's what the people wanted to hear. They just wanted some clarity, and I mean I wanted to clear my name because they thought that I kidnapped you.
You
So
know what's funny is back up until when did we? Because we've known each other for a little over a year now.
yes,
And when me and you first started following each other, I think you were probably my follower number 127. So back then, back in the good old Seppi days, I would deactivate all the time. I would get so triggered, usually on some Sports Center thread that we're going back and forth, and I don't really know the stats, and some nerd gets in there and starts
yeah,
feeding me
yeah,
actual business, and I'm just like, well, I suck, and I'm just going to deactivate, and then nobody cares, and so I come right back, and I'm like, oh, nobody even noticed, so that was
yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah.
So I can't really come back this time
I
because I
mean,
look like complete fraud. But no, listen, you stop. So we're
hold
done
on,
with that.
hold on a second.
All right, let's get on to
Sometimes,
sports.
sometimes too, you might not be able to cut that. That's fine if you hold strong. I'm perfectly fine with that. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you an out clause here on the Let Me Just Say podcast because I'm all about that kind of shit. So sometimes you got to step away from things that you're passionate about to just have that, that fire get relit in your soul. And maybe one day, all these dudes out here who keep commenting on how cute you are, they'll cut that shit out, and you'll be able to come back.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I agree.
so yeah, you got it
All
out,
right,
bro. It's fucking Twitter. Who gives a fuck, man? People
just
say
who
shit
gives
all
a
the time,
fuck?
and they don't hold up to it, their end of the deal. So,
That's
but what
right.
do we got, man? What kind of topics we got today?
All right. So, do you want a rundown, or do you just want to
No, just I
get right
mean,
into it?
you're the host, bro.
All right.
I'm just
So I'm
here.
the host. All right, you just sit there. Ready? All right.
Mhm.
So let's first talk about our friend Daniel on the old Twitter there.
Yep.
He had a tweet go pretty, just all viral, right? I mean,
That's what the kids call it.
everybody on Twitter was talking about it. It was a map with all kinds of colors and logos on it,
Yep.
and it really got the streets buzzing. And I, for one, loved it.
Yeah.
I laughed a lot. I didn't care if it was real or not.
Oh.
I didn't care how doctored it was. I was happy for him because that was just a genius marketing move right there. And then I liked a few of his tweets after that where he was upset about gaining new followers. When I bet that's really a lie because he probably loves it, but he's got an image to uphold. So
Yeah.
props to Daniel and just completely catfishing an entire nation. So
Yeah.
go ahead, the floor is yours.
I mean, it was. I agree with you that, like, I mean, from the jump, I obviously knew something was up, and he twisted some numbers around there. But it just blew my mind how like it was funny tweet, but like how are these verified accounts, like who, like Heyman retweeted it, right? It was or quote tweeted.
I think so.
Like,
Yeah.
how is Heyman really believing that all of Southern California tweets so much about the Astros that's because that makes their favorite team? Like, come
Yeah.
on, John, you really felt. If I'm about to just create maps and just say like this part of the country all loves the Let Me Just Say podcast, and it's just going to be the whole map of the United States covered in with blue, and hopefully someone will tweet it and be like, "Wow, this is amazing! This podcast is just fucking skyrocketing." But I like, I just props to him. It was one of the best trolls I've seen in a while. I mean, it, like you said, it fooled all of baseball Twitter. Like, people were getting into legit. That's when you know your troll has worked to a maximum effort, is when people are actually getting into fights over it. And people were legit. What the fuck, man? This is bullshit. What, the Astros are the most popular team in Southern California? No fucking way. Like, bro, come on. Did you really just fall for this? Did you, like, if we color coded a map, and I sent a tweet about it, and like an idiot, I said color coded like a jacket in the winter instead of color coded like CODED. But like, how can just because someone tweets something with different colors, and they're like, well, this is fact because this is data I analyzed from Twitter. Like, first off, how would you get any of that information? You'd have to work at Twitter, right? Like, how do you analyze all 51 states? We got 51 states.
You're trolling now.
How do you analyze data from all
Time out. I need a 20. Jesse. Hang on. I paused the recording. We're going to cut this out. How many states do we have in the union?
51.
Okay. Now, I was afraid you were going to say another number, so I'm glad you said 51. Okay, carry on. I'm glad that your geography class teachers really nailed it there.
Anyway, but like, how would a single Twitter user get all that information and be able to make a color coded map based off of it? Like, what do you search? How do you, like, what do you?
You have to have the most futuristic mainframe, right? Is that what it is? A mainframe, a database?
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be the size of like Manhattan to be able to get all the buzzwords.
Yeah.
You know, because you can't just be like, oh, they just tweeted and had Astros in it. It has to be like Stros, hashtags have to be involved.
Plus locations.
I mean, different languages.
I don't share my fucking location. I don't want anybody from Twitter to know where I'm tweeting from. But like, props to him, man. It was great troll.
Siri could be a snitch.
Yeah, you're right. She could be, and she probably is. But yeah, props to Daniel on that troll. It was great. Upset that he on who he had create the Photoshop for him. I would have loved to have been a part of that, but he went with my virtual online enemy instead. So that detracts some points from the troll because he used a ultimate troll who whatever. Anyway,
Wait, I was about to play devil's advocate and be like, does that make the troll even better if he used
probably
like
because
your most worst hated
yeah.
enemy?
Yeah, because not only did he troll the entire baseball Twitter, he tried to upset Dodgers fans, which he did, obviously, and then he
He
went to
really
my
drove their screwdriver right into Jesse's neck.
yeah, he went to my mortal enemy to have that work done. So shout out to him,
Yeah.
but fuck you, Daniel, as well.
Yeah. And just as a quick aside, as we're talking about Twitter and some things, I don't want to get too deep into this. Like, I had it on my notes and then I took them off, but I still want to address your real traps.
Oh,
Please discuss.
so yeah, well,
All right, wait. Let me just ask a question.
So
Direct
this might
to the point. Let me just ask a question, okay?
okay.
Do you have traps? Trapezius Retiremezius dorsi.
Yes, I have two of them.
Okay. Are they artificial in any nature?
They are enhanced by only weights and
Please
determination.
answer the question. It was yes or no. Simple question.
No.
Please do not badger my witness.
No, they are not enhanced by any means other than hard
Okay.
work.
So, by my deduction of science and biology, those traps on your body, I'm sorry, traps, air quotes, because that's not the technical medical definition that I went to many years of doctor college.
Yeah.
So those are in fact part of your body and your skeleton and your soft tissue or whatever, right?
As I feel them right now with my own hands, they feel
As I get
connected.
a giant eggplant in my pants.
They feel connected and very real currently. So
This unsolved mystery has in fact been solved. Can we do
yes.
the update?
Well, I mean, I think to be perfectly honest, we like this news. So obviously Joe's referencing a recent interaction that I had on the twitter.com sphere with some other fans of the Dodgers, Los Angeles Dodgers of Los Angeles. And it, it would have it probably would have been the lead story here today on the Let Me Just Say podcast if Joe didn't try to steal my shine. And now it all fucking makes fucking sense, bro. This has nothing. I didn't even think about Joe's retirement has nothing to do with anything other than he saw that I was going to be the lead story on this episode of the podcast, and he wanted to take over that. He wanted to steal that shine from me. So last week, I think it was last week.
It was earlier this week, I think. What's today?
I don't even know, man.
All right.
Earlier this week.
Earlier last week.
Last week, this week, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter, man. Corona is all the same. It could have been 3 months ago, but it does not matter. I received a notification in my text inbox around 11:30, maybe 12 o'clock at night. I was just about to close my eyes and drift off to a deep sleep, dreaming about becoming a rich podcaster, when I was notified that by the same person who created the troll tweet, Daniel, sent me a text and said, "What's going on here?" And he sent me the quote tweet that he had quote tweeted, basically saying blah blah blah. Are you jealous that Jesse never had you on the show or something like that along those lines? I can't remember. But two fellow Dodgers fans slash below mediocre podcasters, for some reason, I mean, I'm assuming maybe some mediocre fame, decided that they were going to sub podcast voice me. I don't even know what to call it. To talk. Basically, the line went something along the lines of I have fake traps and I'm only on a podcast to get laid, which based off my calculations, we've been doing this podcast now for what? Probably 4 months, 3 months? I don't know. The return, it's not looking real great. So if I got in this game for money or for pussy, well, I fucking better retire with Joe because I am not doing my job. So yeah, there was some sub tweets and a whole minute and a half or 2 minutes dedicated, but not dedicated to me. A lot of backpedaling. A lot of, well, that's not a, whatever. So yeah, I don't understand it. I don't know why. I mean, obviously on Twitter sometimes I'm talking recklessly and I run my mouth and blah blah blah. I tweet a lot of pictures without my shirt on and some with my shirt on. Not a lot with my shirt on. There hasn't been a lot. Let's not try and turn me into a thought. But so I don't know. I guess where there's hate, there's love. So you can't get one without the other, right?
Oh damn! Yeah, that's in the Bible. So pretty sure you just nailed that one. So I don't know about
cheers
you.
to my haters.
Oh, ooh.
That's all I got.
All right. So I know that I'm right now able to breathe a whole lot easier. So that must mean the air has been cleared. So good job to you.
Thank you.
And I believe we can move on from that to other things, such as quarantine talk edition of Is It Time to Get Back to Normal? I don't know if you saw this. You saw it. I know you saw it. But Barstool Sports president Dave Portnoy had an epic rant, 3 minutes, 37 seconds. Everybody saw it, 69 million views and counting, where he basically says, why do we keep adjusting the goalposts as far as when we can be kind of get back to normal, resume activities? Obviously, that doesn't mean let's just be reckless and go out there and just start, butt fucking each other in the streets at Raw Dog style. But did you just adjust your camera so I can see your traps? Because now they look a lot bigger.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Move
Because
it.
I'm confused because tomorrow afternoon I will be crossing the Rocky Mountains and they look a lot like your shoulder situation. So, anyways, let's get back to this. So Dave Portnoy was basically just kind of, I feel like he spoke for an entire nation when he says things like, why are we waiting for a cure? Instead of like we were supposed to flatten the cure. Anyways, you wanted to go off on this. You were very passionate. You left me a very impassioned, it wasn't a text. What do you call those? Like a voice text?
Yeah.
So you left me one of those. I'm going to go ahead and mute my microphone so I don't step on your toes. And I'm just going to let you go off, King.
All right. So, for anybody that didn't listen to it, he basically said like what Joe was saying. We just keep getting a revised version of what they're telling us we need to do to make these things happen. And Joe's rubbing his nipples right now and now his pecs. Joe has huge pecs. For everybody who saw that show, Joe, I have huge traps, yes, but Joe's pecs are like they're intimidating, and I don't talk about them enough. So this is going to be my chance to just veer off and let everyone know that his pecs put mine to shame. Like they're probably a good 1.5 inches wider than mine. And once quarantine is over, my goal is to widen my pecs to the same size as his because I can't lose in anything. But yeah, Dave Portnoy made a basically 3-minute speech saying like at this point, like we need to just allow people to make decisions on their own, right? Like if you want to go out and roll the dice, like I get it, you're possibly getting other people sick, but you have to include all those other people that are in your life in that decision, right? So, but like, what are we going to do? Like, there's what I think I agreed with the most is there's people who are going to lose their livelihood, right? They worked 25 years to build themselves up a business and it's going to be gone inside of 3 months because they have no ability to make any decisions to open up their doors, to get any financial flexibility to continue to operate their business. So like that alone to me is a major so it should be a major selling point in what are we doing. Like the mayor of California, like he started off pretty strong with like controlling this whole situation, but now we're like saying, oh, we're not going to come out of quarantine for the next 3 months. And then what's his name? The government doctor, Fauci, what's his name? Fauci. This fucking rat looking motherfucker is telling us we're not going outside till we find a cure. Like these assholes could find a cure for cancer for the last 40 years. AIDS has been around for fucking 40 years with no cure. Like, so how sure are we going to find a cure for this? Like, so what? We just allow all these thousands and thousands of businesses. Like, yeah, I get it. There's a lot of the middle of the country open and there's a lot of places opening up. But what about the like everyone's like, oh, fuck it, let California go under. We don't care. Well, guess what, bro? California is a pretty large portion of this country's economy. And if we go down, y'all motherfuckers aren't going to be sitting too pretty either. So I just think, like, I get it. People are going to be upset with this. Like, yo, what do you mean? There's people going to be dying if we do that. Well, I mean, do we sacrifice the economy? Do we sacrifice, like, I don't know. I don't have the right answer, but for anybody to say we're going to just keep going months and months and months without allowing these businesses to open and people to make decisions, like, and get back to their daily lives, and even working, even if you're able to adjust how your business operates, with a little bit looser uh, rules in terms of like what you can and can't do, or blah blah blah. Something needs to change, man, because we're in the toilet right now, and there's a lot of people in trouble. And that's I know I have a family full of small business owners. Like there's restaurants owned in my family, and like, so I can see from that side of it, and I get it. We don't want people to die, but at this point, like, aren't the numbers down? Like, we bagged on Florida, and I was one of the people who bagged on Florida um, for opening their beaches up, and everybody flooded it. But have we heard like any news of that creating like a major increase in, like, you'd think all the people who were shitting on Florida by now would have been like, see, 2 weeks ago you opened up the beaches and look at how many more cases are there, but we're not hearing that. So like, what happened? Like, and hand up, I said let's saw Florida off the state of the United States because they opened up
And
their
then
beaches.
and then we would only have 50 states.
and then I'd probably still get it wrong. But anyway, uh, I was proved wrong, man. They opened the beaches and we haven't heard anything. So maybe we sort of have it under control, and we just gotta modify a few things, but we gotta open back up, in my opinion, man.
I agree. And there's also another guy, Bill Maher. I'm not a huge fan of Bill Maher, but he also had a video out that I probably should have watched the whole thing. But the way my brain works is I watch like the first 15 seconds,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
You get the
I
gist.
like where he's going. I figure that it's probably the rest of it's really smart and well said. But I'm gonna go click and find something else now. And basically, what I got from what he was saying is that you can't hide from a virus or a microbe or whatever this thing is. We can't hide from it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, our immune systems are built, from what I know, like from getting sick and everything. Like, you get sick, your immune system attacks the sickness and you get better. And yeah, some people's immune systems aren't up to par and they can't fight it off. And that's what we got all these open hospital beds for now, so that they could get better. Yeah. Or they can be self-aware enough to know that, hey, I probably shouldn't go out right now until either they find a vaccine or a cure or whatever. But I mean, and this sounds super heartless, I get it, but if we're going to sacrifice so many people's hard work, like, I've never been a small business owner, but I like everybody, man, we all know people that have small businesses, man, and a lot of times they break their back. They're not getting any kind of, like, there's no kind of union for a small business owner where you have rights, where you only have to work 40 hours a week, then you get paid extra if you have to work more. Like, these guys and gals are literally almost killing themselves to try and make their dream a reality. And then it's through no fault of their own. This thing happens, no fault to anybody. This thing happens. We react to it like I think we should have, where we kept everybody inside and just kind of got a grip on it, figure out what we're dealing with. And I mean, when a very, very high percentage of us can deal with it, like, our immune systems are good enough to fight it off. I mean, who knows? Me and you, or chances are by now, me and you both have at least been exposed to it. I mean, that's just got to be the odds, right? I mean, I'm a doctor and everything, as we established already earlier in this segment. So I just feel like let's open it up. Sure, if you want to start small and just do a 50% of capacity to whatever business you own, okay, whatever. Yeah. But as time goes on, man, we can't just stay inside and hide under the covers till this goes away, because that's going to be a very long time. And I don't know about you, but I don't believe in reincarnation, and so I'm not trying to hang around to see, like, okay, I'll just wait until I die and then hopefully come back and they'll have it cured. So let's go ahead and live instead of, like, hide.
Yep.
And get back to I mean, and this doesn't even have really anything to do with sports. I mean, yeah, we all want sports back, But this is just about living, man. Like I can't. My big sister, she's been like a big time quarantine person. Like she literally didn't leave her house since this thing started until last weekend when I talked to her and she went to Lowe's to make a trip. But she says she's been in her house the rest of the time. So I can't imagine living like that. Obviously, I don't live like that since I got this job I got. You got a job you got to go to still. So, I mean, it's like, I would say if there were like bodies stacked in the streets and like, you know, we got all these mass graves having to be built because this virus is just wiping out yeah, obviously we got to be more drastic. But I mean, my experience, everybody, even like the elderly people I interact with, still shaking my hand, still getting real close to me. I never wear a mask. Like, I can't breathe with the damn thing. I tried at Costco. I could not breathe with that damn thing on. And very claustrophobic in the mouth area. Plus, it messed up my beard, so I will never wear that mask again. But that's very selfish of me. But anyways, I'm with you, man. We gotta start kind of taking the turn around the corner here and getting back to a normal way of life and just kind of, I don't want to say let nature run its course because that also sounds heartless, but I mean at the same time, gotta let nature run its course. I mean, it sucks, and hopefully, if you're in the part of the population that struggles with your immune system, that they find some kind of antibiotics or something that'll help fight this thing. But I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it to me.
I'm with you, man. I mean, the mental health capacity of this, the small businesses, we gotta do something. Like, it's just sitting inside. You know what? You know, I hate to make it about this, but there's a lot of motherfuckers getting richer off us sitting inside still. And a lot of those people are very powerful, and I'm sure they get a say, or at least they can get into the people's ears who make the decision on extending our quarantines and telling us that we need to stay inside. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people losing money who need it, and there's a lot of people making a lot of fucking money who don't need it off of this whole situation.
And then there's a lot of politicians that are using this and exploiting it for their little political agendas. Like my home state of Washington, the governor there's been rumors that he's using like the funding that he's supposed to be getting for Corona or whatever. He's using it to further his climate change platform that he's so big on, which he actually ran for president. And that was like his platform was climate change. And guess how many % of the Democratic support he got? That would be a 0. So the guy is very tone deaf, but he's definitely trying to keep us locked down up there for as long as possible till everybody is out of business and completely relying on him and his stupid kind of thing. And that's why I don't understand why people keep voting for. But I don't want to talk about politics anymore. Do you?
Let's not do that. No, I don't know enough about him. Right. But I need you to do me a favor, man. Hold on before we continue.
What do you need?
Look over your left shoulder. Do you see that little strap that's not strapped?
Oh, yeah,
Could you click that for me? Because I've been
bugging you.
I've been staring at it the whole time, bro, and I try not to say anything. So Joe has like a little window near his bunk, and it has a window, has a curtain, and it's rolled up, and only half side of it was clicked, and the other half was just hanging. It was fucking driving
I respect that so much because that's like that OCD.
Yeah. I made it 38 minutes without saying something, but the last like 10, bro, I've just listened to you talk, staring at it. Like, I can hear what you're saying, but I don't, because all I'm thinking about is that buckle being buckled. So
I get you. I'm glad you can't see the other one. I still got the one buckle on there. It's too much work. Like the position I have to put my body in to get to roll it up, and then so anyways.
You know what's funny? If I was there and it was me, I wouldn't give a shit. I would have, like, it wouldn't, but me looking at it, like, I don't have the ability to fix it. I want it fixed, but if it was me, my shit is like, whatever. I don't give a fuck, sloppy as hell. So it's my brain.
All right. So now we're going to get into some good news, some good Rona news. Okay. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I saw this headline and I immediately wrote it down because I wanted to be a part of it. It says, some good Rona news. San Diego patients show robust immunity. Now, you might be asking, can you go into more details? And the answer is no, because I only wrote the headline down and that was it. I saw the good news. That seemed like a lot of good news. And I just want to applaud it. So can we just take a few seconds and applaud?
Thank God we finally got a headline that's not a bummer. I appreciate that. And I appreciate those San Diegoans. Hopefully we can just like pull some of their blood out and inject it into everybody else, and we're good.
Amen. So that's cool. All right, now moving along, we'll kind of stay with this theme. So Wisconsin, I don't know if you saw this or not, but Wisconsin, their little governor guy or mayor or somebody decided they were going to stay on lockdown, and then their little court system was like, we're overruling your bitch ass, and people can just, it's like American Airlines or whatever, like Southwest Airlines, you're now free to roam about this motherfucker however you want to. And guess what? The Wisconsin bars were freaking lit. Did you see this?
I did see that. I saw that people were partying. It was like a fucking Thursday too.
Yeah,
or a Wednesday. Everybody was like, I don't give a fuck, man. I am going out. Which, again, now in a month from now, let's run the data in that area. And if fucking nothing has really spiked, then we know it's time to get drunk, fam. Like, it's just this is why, like, that Las Vegas mayor who got dragged about a month ago or whatever for saying that she's willing to be the test subjects in regards to, like, just letting everybody do normal shit and then come back to it. Let us do it for a month and see what fucking happens. She got shit on for that, like, big time, which it was kind of like a crazy, how she said it probably could have been worded a little differently. Instead of saying, like, make us the test case, like, okay, well, you're talking about humans right now, so you got to, like, word that a little differently. But she was right. We just need somebody to raise their hand and be like, yo, we're going to do it. We're going to be the ones.
Yeah. Or just put out a press release for volunteers and come down to Vegas and party for a week. Hey, I don't even party. And I will go down to Vegas and fuck shit
up. All expenses paid.
Oh yeah, definitely. All expenses paid.
Pay
for shit.
I will come and take all the chances in the world of getting corona. As long as I don't have to pay a cent for it, I will be in that test subject case or whatever it is. And let's just do it. Like, it's at this point, like I said, a month ago, 2-3 weeks ago when Florida popped off, I was making jokes about chopping them off the end of the map. But today, times have changed, man. It's time to we got to make some moves. So
yeah,
shout out to Wisconsin. I hope everybody got drunk as fuck and had hangovers and not corona.
All right, so I got this story I couldn't pass up because it made me laugh, and I think it's the last one I have in regards to the Rona. Okay. So I know we didn't want to talk about when all this started because it's just too depressing, but I feel like we have some fun with it anyway. So did you hear about the FedEx pilot that was arrested in Singapore?
I did not hear about that.
He's like he's a FedEx pilot from Alaska. He got some special exemption or something to enter the country in early April. The only thing, he wasn't supposed to leave this room they had allocated him until April 17th. He said, no, fuck your April 17th. I'm leaving on April 5th. And for that, he gets 4 weeks in jail.
In where?
In Singapore. Now, I only
know Singapore. 50 years in jail here in the United States, I feel like.
Yeah, but see, I don't know Singapore. Is that Malaysia? So anyways, the only thing I know about
you just had to question me on whether I knew how many states there were in the United States of America, and then you followed that up 5 minutes later with asking me where Singapore was. So just let that sink in, bro.
Listen, as we know, the Let Me Just Say podcast is not only for your entertainment, but it's for your education. So we are, as it had been established by the reviews, we are known to be family friendly on this podcast, regardless of the fact that you already said the word pussy earlier in regards to female genitalia, and how last week you were talking about Earl Thomas's brother blowing hot loads on his chest. Other than that, I feel like we could be played in any kindergarten classroom in America. Or Singapore, even.
You know what? I agree, man. We are educational because here's why. We're so stupid that when we say these asinine things that don't make sense, or we don't understand where things are, or we don't know how to say words, guess what happens to the people who listen to our podcast? They never forget that shit. So we are some of the best teachers you've probably ever had, because you're going to listen to that podcast and get so frustrated that these two idiots don't know where fucking Singapore is that you're never going to forget where Singapore is, because you fucking wanted to throw your iPhone out the window while you're driving because we are fucking so stupid. So you're welcome.
Dude, the way you just said Singapore twice right there, that is a dope ass name for a city. I like it. Singapore. Say it again, please.
Did I say it wrong?
No, you said it beautiful. I love the whole adaptation of that word. Is that even
All
a
right.
word? I don't know.
Me and Joe are moving to Singapore, and we're gonna start this podcast from there. And we're gonna do it live from that guy's jail cell.
Yeah.
Do you
And I
think he's dead now? Did they murder him in jail?
Allegedly, the family spoke to him and said he was in high spirits, but that could have all been propaganda displayed or portrayed from the Singaporean government.
Is Singapore in the east?
I think it's Indonesia.
Okay,
China?
because I just
It could
think
be China.
anything in the Far East, jail and prison wise, it just no, thank you, man. Like if you're like, I mean if you like go to jail or just end my life, like oh Jesse, you gotta go to jail in Singapore for a year, or just fucking hang me from a noose. I hang me from a noose might get a couple votes from me. Because
wait, how many votes do you get?
I mean, I don't know, but
so yeah,
I just feel like it's all bad.
Yeah, I figure jail in Singapore is probably a lot different than jail in like Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So, because the way, like, since we just started talking about this, when I think of Singapore jail, I picture obviously cement floor, the bars, the iron bars that are rusty. Obviously, the paint's chipped off. There's probably fingernails like encrusted in there from people trying to squeeze, whatever. And then it's like always damp. Everything there's dripping water from everywhere. The one little light bulb is flickering. You got to shit in a little mop bucket over there in the corner.
It's more comfortable to lay on the concrete floor than the bunk they give you.
Yeah, because it's definitely got lice and rabies and everything.
Yeah, I can't wait for let me just say, listeners to reach out to us and tell us how nice Singapore jails are and that we're fucking totally wrong. And that it's like the most well-treated prisoners in the entire world. But, for right now in my brain, I'm just picturing bamboo shoots being shoved underneath your fingernails because you left your hotel room too early.
Oh, that's where we probably know. I think Rambo invaded Singapore.
I mean, if he didn't, he did now. And if he didn't, Sylvester Stallone, if you're listening to this, next movie idea, Rambo invades Singapore prisons to break out me and Joe because we were arrested for slandering Singapore prisons.
Bam. Cosign.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So let's just go ahead and get away from that. I just need a quick update right now. We're going to call this segment the LJS body fat update. It's not looking good for me.
Like this.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know why I wrote it down. It's my neck is already sweating. So today I'm just going to be real with the people. I went ahead and bought the 2 for $5 slices of pizza here at the Flying J. Instantly regretted it because I thought they were fresh. They were not.
They did not look very fresh. I'm sorry to say.
They were not fresh. I mean, I picked it up and that thing was like it had been ironed. Like when you starch your pants or whatever.
No flop.
It was like that. No New York flop. Dave would have given it a negative 69 on the 1 bite scale. And then like the crust, like some Flying J's do really good job on their pizzas, but this one, like the crust was like, it was like a fungo bat thick. I mean, I tried to take a few bites and I was just instantly filled with yeast and whatever else makes it rise, oats and barley and all that. No, that's beer. Anyway, so I'm gonna have to do a few more. And see, in my defense, I've been doing some push-ups lately. I've been trying to get up at least 35 push-ups a day.
Oh, I like it.
I don't know what that does for me when it comes to the overall calories burned, since I just basically I don't even have a stick shift, so like I've definitely just turning the wheel around a couple times. So. And I'm sort of addicted to Dr. Pepper now. So,
I've been thinking about telling you to get a jump rope because I have a jump rope and I'm so tired of walking because it's just I mean it's fun but it's just repetitive and like I can only see the same environment so many times before I'm like all right this sucks. So I've recently started jumping rope. Let me just say I'm tired when I'm done with that for like 30 minutes. If I don't jump rope continuously for 30 minutes because I'm not a fucking super athlete, but it's
Rocky
something
Balboa.
Yeah, it's something that I'd like you to consider out on the road. I think just get outside your truck at any point, pound out a couple of jumping jack or what am I saying? Jump ropes.
Jump ropes. But jumping jacks is something else. See, when I was in the Army, they introduced me something called the motivator, which is basically 5-part exercise where you start out, you pick a number like 15. You start out doing jumping jacks to 15, and then you can put your arms down, you do your legs out 15, and then you just jump up 15. You work your way down to just calf raises 15, and then you work your way down to 1. And let me just say, that is a motherfucker.
Yeah, it sounds like a motherfucker.
It is. Oh yeah, it is. Everything burns after that, even your pee.
And before you trudge on, because like I too, Joe showed me his pizza, and I just wanted him to know that he shouldn't feel so bad. So I showed him what I had eaten last night. I ordered some delivery, and let me just say I'm getting off the tracks when it comes to my health during this quarantine. You know, before it, I was in some of the best shape of my life, and it's slowly fading because I can't really lift any weights. I know, Jesse, everybody's like, get some shit. I don't want to buy $1,000 worth of weights and then literally a week later the gym's like, we're open, because I enjoy going to the gym versus just staying at home working out. But this is the hamburger that I had for dinner last night, and I sent Joe the description. It's called it's called the Boss Burger. It consists of bacon, smoked brisket, lettuce, pulled pork, jalapeno, cheddar, smoked sausage, with a house barbecue sauce, ranch dressing, a toasted bun, and all natural beef patty with cheddar cheese and a side of fries. And that's what I had for dinner.
By my calculations, there were 2 pigs, a hog, and a goat that all had to be slaughtered for your hamburger. And let me just say, my mouth is. I have to get a Swiffer mop jet something down here because there is just saliva everywhere all over the floor. Because I want a Boss Bitch burger too now. Because damn, son.
So
how big is your mouth? Bro, what's the mouth do?
It was difficult to eat. It fell apart. It tasted great. Presentation wasn't very great because it wasn't able to stay on the bun.
Well, I mean,
but
also had to get to your house at 58 miles an hour or something around corners. So,
and the reason why I treated myself to such luxuries as the Boss Burger was because I walked 5 total miles yesterday, and then I decided, well, I burned 400 calories on that walk, so I might as well eat 1,600 tonight. And that's how I sold myself into the Boss Burger for dinner.
Where did that Boss Burger come from?
I don't even want to say because it's a poor people's restaurant, I feel like. But it's not.
Red Robin.
No.
Red Robin? Oh, okay. Chili? I mean, damn, dude. It says Boss Burger. How are you going to hate on something called the Boss Burger?
I'm not, but a lot of people will hate on Chili's, and I don't eat Chili's. This is probably the first time I've ever eaten at Chili's.
Let me just say, if you're about to hate on Chili's, go ahead and do me a favor. Swipe up on your little iPhones real quick. Hit that unsubscribe button. Get the fuck out of my face, okay? We will not stand for Chili slander on the Let Me Just Say podcast. So guess what? You shouldn't even be hearing this anymore because I already told you unsubscribe, delete this shit, and get out of here because there will be no Chili's slander. The floor is back to you.
I have nothing else to say, but that was I liked that rant. Let me just say, I got a question for you. Can you hear my fan in the background right now?
I can't hear your fan because, listen, let me just say, so out of that window is a truck with his engine going.
Okay.
Out this window is a truck with his engine going. And then I've got a little mini engine that's keeping my batteries going.
Yeah.
I'm glad you can hear me. It sounds like I'm on an aircraft carrier right now.
I'm hoping that the fans can't. I had to turn on my fan. It's getting a little warm in here. It is getting toasty in the old state of California here lately. If you guys do hear that background noise, I'm sorry, but let me just say my balls are sweating.
Dude, I'm starting to get that I'm starting to pit out a little bit right now.
Yeah.
And I've got
it's a lot of work
blasted on my cab. Oh yeah, dude.
You know, talking about the podcast will get you hot and heavy.
Especially when you start bringing up Boss Burgers with briskets and like 9 different kinds of cheese and all that shit. Would you say cheddar, jalapeno?
Bro, it was literally just a cheddar jalapeno sausage cut in half right on top. And I didn't realize it when
brisket and bacon. I mean, God dang, son. You had half a barnyard in your house last night.
I didn't realize it. When I bit into it, I was like, and there's like a big piece. I was like, holy shit, that was a gigantic piece of sausage that just went down my gullet. So tonight, I'm going to be eating a salad or nothing at all because I ate for 3 days yesterday, the calorie intake. So let me just say, Joe staring at me in an unbelievable face. And he's shaming me into eating like a pig again tonight, I think.
All right, moving right along.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to have ramen because I already blew my $5 allotment on 2 pieces of bullshit pizza. So it's ramen for me tonight. Cup of nudes. All right, let's get down to sports. Okay, so this week the MLB kind of had some back and forth between the players and the owners. The owners want the players to take a 50% pay cut, but also another what do you call it? It's not stipend. We call it when you make like a percentage of based on how much they're actually paying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that thing.
So words are stupid. Anyways, so the players are mad at the owners are mad at the players, fans are just mad, and I guess everybody's gonna end up losing money, but who cares, right? So what do you think about all that?
So at first, I pivoted on this take here. So at first, Blake Snell came out, and he ran he said his little rant, which some of I agreed with. Some of it I was like, okay, relax a little bit, bro. And then I say relax a little bit, bro, because he was like, I'm gonna risk my life, like I'll be forever changed, like I might die from. Like, okay, well, maybe, but I think if you would have just left it with like I'm concerned for my safety and the safety of my family, it would have went a little bit better than I possibly could die. So he just went a little bit above and beyond than I think he needed to. But at first I was upset at the players because like I just want this shit to happen. I want to see baseball, but I have pivoted to here's the thing that the only way the owners can be right here and have the public's the opinion, whatever that is, on their side is they have to prove to us that they're losing a ton of money. If some owner is willing to open up the books and be like, look, here's how much money I'm going to lose if I do what everyone else is agreeing to, if I'm retroactively paying or whatever that word is that we can't figure out, if they're willing to open up their books and show me their financial status and how they're losing millions and millions and millions of dollars, if they go that route, that's the only way I can agree with them. Because the take that kind of swayed me back to the players was like, for the next 50 years, most of those guys who are owners are going to either still be an owner or dead, and their families are going to own that team or franchise. But in 50 years from now, these baseball players, they ain't going to be making money from the MLB no more. So this 1 year, while it might hurt your pockets financially as an owner, you are in the long run pretty safe in regards to continuing to rake in the money and reap the benefits of owning a baseball franchise where a player has a short career span that they can make money on. So if you're willing to, like I said, open up the books and show me how you're going to lose billions of dollars if you go with this, then okay, we definitely need to revise, and the players got to understand that, listen, like the owners are going to be losing as much money as you if they sign that. So there has to be a middle ground. But there ain't going to be an owner in all of sports. There's not going to be an owner who shows us how profitable his business is, because the second they do that, guess what? Players are going to be like, that's how much money you're really making? Okay, motherfucker. Well, I want 20 million more on my contract next time because I see what's going on. So they're fucked unless they bend over, grab their ankles and do that. They don't really have much ground to stand on. So that's my new take. Like at first I was upset. I just fucking give me baseball. However it's got to happen. But realistic Jesse kind of slapped me in the face and said they probably got a point. The players, that is.
Yep. I'm with you. I agree 100%. At first, like when we got to that certain point where it was like this season is probably pretty much fucked. I was like, who even cares? Don't even play. But now I'm to the point where like I just want to see competition, and not from Korea. No offense to Korea, but I want to see my guys out there. I want to get mad at them. I want to know who the heck I'm rooting for. It's like I don't even care. You know what I mean? I mean, I care. I don't care that it's not a full season anymore. So I've also changed my stance.
Yeah.
Whoever wins the World Series, sure, it's going to have whatever next to it, but I just want to see sports, man. I don't care what sport starts up. I don't count UFC because I've never understood UFC. So
me neither.
that's just
It's
ignorance.
cool
And
once in
then
a while when the huge cards come about and someone gets knocked out, but otherwise, no thanks.
yeah, and then like soccer is like not really a sport, right?
I mean,
Kidding. I'm trolling. I'm
no,
catfishing, guys. Everybody just settle down.
nah, it's just
We got
not something I watch. I mean,
no. Everybody knows you're a big LAFC fan.
yeah, yeah. Knew as of last year, right when the playoffs started, and then they lost in the playoffs as I became a fan. So if that doesn't tell you something about my fandom, then I don't know what to tell you. But I have the worst luck in the world.
All right.
But
So
before
that
we get off topic, I didn't see this on your paper, but I wanted to touch on it because I got a little crazy earlier this week, and I reached out to you about it, and it was how state universities in California here are already announcing no fall activities, and that includes football. And I got a little nervous when I saw that and thought, well, if there's a couple of schools that start saying, hey, we're not going to be playing football next year, I just felt like the domino effect was going to slowly take over and scare other major universities in D1 into bowing their heads as well, because they don't want to be the assholes who decided to play and somebody got hurt. And you kind of talked me off the ledge about it, and I know I tweeted about it, and of course every redneck and hillbilly that roots for anyone in the SEC was like, hell nah, Jesse. We're us down here in the SEC. We don't give a shit about none of that. We're gonna make sure we get our football this year. That might be how it went. I'm not too sure, and I hope no one was offended by that accent or
oh my
draw
god,
or everyone.
that was so good.
Was it good?
Did you practice that for a long time?
I did not practice that, bro.
Oh
Just
my
came
god.
to my head right now that we were gonna even talk about this. So yeah, I understand that what are they called? The athletic directors know, like school presidents are in the SEC are saying we're gonna play football. We don't give a fuck. But until I see teams start in fall practice or whatever the fuck it's called, I'm still a little nervous that they're gonna cave under the pressure. But what's your take? Like I said, you walked me back off the ledge a little bit because you had said, who are these D2 schools? Like, who gives a fuck about Cal Poly? So.
Yeah, I mean, and no offense to Cal Poly, slow and all that, but I'm also in the camp that the SEC definitely, when it comes to their values, it's football, God, country kind of thing.
Yep.
So and then like human lives are way down there at like number 150 or whatever. But just kidding, guys.
Oh, you're
Anybody
not.
listening down
Those
there.
motherfuckers will agree with you. There's not one person who's an SEC football fan who would say that it doesn't go God. I mean, football, God,
Football.
country, whatever. Yeah, like it's
football, guns, God, country.
Yeah, and they'll co-sign that. We ain't hurting their feelings by saying that. They will agree that we might. You know what? That might be our first branch off to T-shirts, and it might just say that little slogan there: football, God, country, guns, or whatever order we just said it in. And we'll sell that to all the rednecks who we offend weekly by calling them rednecks.
Well, I thought we were going to keep business matters off air. What are we doing right
now? You're right. That probably just got stolen by someone.
Yeah. Well, we could have been rich once again, but no. Now we're just going to keep. We're gonna keep doing this for the love of the game.
I'll launch the shirt before the podcast so they can't get stuck.
Okay, all right. So now you're back to sports. We'll be back in the fall because the SEC will save all of our lives.
That's what it sounds like.
Because the Florida's SEC country. So remember them. They started not giving a fuck way before anybody else. So I expect fall sports to take follow suit.
Yeah.
What did you call it earlier? Color coated?
Yeah, color jacketed is what it is.
So wait, quick funny story about jackets and all that stuff. So when I was in the Army and we'd be in formation, we had to all look the same as far as our uniform. And so sometimes guys would be running late to formation and they'd have their jackets on. So a fun little game we would play to scream out inappropriate things would be like, take your pants and jacket off or whatever. Oh no, take your gloves and jacket off. So we would yell to them like way across the freaking little parade thing. And that was fun.
Isn't that a blind? I almost called it Blind 182. Isn't that a Blink 182 album?
Oh, I don't know.
I think I'm not a huge Blink 182 guy, but I do believe that in the late 90s, early 2000s, they had an album called Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Oh, yeah,
Like, get
I
it?
screwed that up. It was supposed to be because in the wintertime we would wear gloves and like a jacket over our
Yeah.
uniform. So we would yell, "Take your gloves and jacket off."
I like that as well.
Yeah.
I
So,
wish
anyways, all right.
I wish I was in the army just so I could. I wish I went, or whatever you call it, so that I could just have that camaraderie of making fun of other men, because I miss just giving people a hard time all the time, and like.
Yeah, it's not too late, dude. What do you mean?
I mean, is
You're not
it?
even 40 yet.
Is it?
Bro, when I went to boot camp, we had a 41-year-old dude from like the continent of Africa.
Really?
His name was Saudago.
Yeah, but I
Our
feel
drill
like
sergeant called him
dudes.
Sudoku.
I feel like 41-year-old dudes from Africa are really
It was
like
no, he was
25-year-old.
no,
They're
he
just.
well, yeah, he might have been, but it wasn't. He wasn't like a stallion, and he wasn't
Yeah,
built
that's
like
what
a
I meant. He
marathon
was like.
runner. No,
No,
he
he's
wasn't.
not.
He was built like a trucker.
Okay, all right.
Did you just hear? Did you hear this guy over here? He's
Nah,
freaking. You hear that?
nah.
Okay. Shout out to these AirPods then.
Yeah,
Noise
they are.
canceling.
Yeah, what is he doing? Revving his engine?
No, he's fucking using his air hose to blow out this driver's side floor. Like, dude, can't you see I'm in the middle of making myself rich right now, building an empire, you freaking ass clown? Anyways.
I think we're going to. I'm going to go online today and find a custom sunscreen for your truck that says "Podcast recording in session. Please be quiet."
And as I know, and everybody else should know, that truckers definitely respect laws, signs, and everything else.
Yeah.
I will be able to show you tonight, once the sun goes down, and all these signs around this Flying J parking lot that say no parking, these guys will not give a fuck about, and they will park right next to the no parking sign, and then it'd be like, kiss my ass.
Are you posted up for the night, for the evening in your location currently?
Yeah, this is my 34-hour reset. I parked
34.
last night.
When did you start?
Yesterday at 5 p.m. your time. So
Okay.
I can leave tomorrow at 3 a.m. your time. So 5 a.m. local. So that's what I'm going to do, because fuck North Platte, Nebraska. No offense to any, let me just say, listener that's in North Platte, Nebraska. Shout out to you, buy a shirt, subscribe,
North Platte?
4 stars. North Platte.
Yeah.
Like plate, but they put like extra T's and an E at the end. I don't know, man. I can't figure these guys out. Anyways, all right.
That's not an original name, unlike most states you've been in, or cities. I mean,
it's true. All right, so now I went ahead and I tried to think of something we could talk about to kind of reminisce. Since right now, if we were doing this podcast like during an actual season of baseball, we could talk about what just happened. Like, Yasiel Puig is fighting an entire army by himself, or whatever happened. And what came to my mind first was my managers versus umpires, and just like these blow-ups that we've seen in the past. And I want to talk about a few of our favorite ones that just come to your mind, and then we'll just kind of see where that leads. But do you want to go first, or do you want me to go?
I'm going to allow you to go first, because this was your topic.
Okay, so my first one that comes to mind, obviously, and it's probably recency bias, is the old Terry Collins ass in the jackpot, where Noah Syndergaard threw behind your boy.
Yeah.
And then he just said, "I was trying to throw a fastball, bro. Get off me. Like, what do you want from me?" And that umpire, I can't remember, I don't know the umpire's name, but shout out to him. What a sound take. What do you call that? Sound bite machine.
Yeah, and, he had a couple
about his ass being in the jackpot and all this other shit. And then Terry Collins comes from out of nowhere, just you fucking cocksucker. He said that about 3 or 4 times, and I didn't know he had that.
I think he called him a puss too.
Yeah, he might have. He was throwing everything in the book out. But see, what sucks is that clip came out, I think, after he got fired.
Yeah.
And I remember I was big on the train of get him fired, like fire Terry Collins.
Yeah.
Because as a Mets fan, we can only tolerate a manager for like 1 year and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
Even if you go to the World Series, guess what? The next year, get the fuck out of here. So anyways, when I saw that, that's why I wish I would pay extra for an MLB TV type of situation where we just got mic'd up players and coaches and managers, umpires, everything like that. I don't need any announcers. You could overlap the announcers onto them, whatever you want to do. I want the raw shit, man. Like, I want to hear all that, because that was awesome. Like,
Fucking
I mean,
announcer, like, to be perfectly honest, like I love my announcers, but if there was a
yeah,
channel that was just mic'd up, like, and everybody had a mic, and
yeah,
I'm tuning into that 10 out of 10 times, and I'll listen to silence during the at bats, the pitches, like,
yeah,
because baseball games, if you've played baseball, there's not a ton of chatter from player to
yeah.
player or whatever, but yeah, sign me up, man. I'm team mic'd up with you 100%.
See, now that I just said that out loud, though, now I wonder if we were to do that, would these players still, would
Probably.
they still be like 100% authentic? Because they all got brands and shit, and they got to act like they got to cater to the kids. Man, fuck them kids. Jordan already said that shit.
I mean,
So,
I'm with you.
um, I guess we can't really mic up the player. Maybe just have like one giant boom mic over the stadium.
Yeah.
Maybe Elon Musk can build that shit since none of his missile cars can make it into orbit without exploding. Maybe let's just focus on a giant boom mic that we can just set right over the top of the stadium, picks up all the players. Like, I don't want anything from drunk Joe Schmo in
No.
section 69B out in the
Yeah.
upper deck or whatever. I don't need to hear from him. He's dumb. But I want to hear from those players. I want to hear, like, when they get pissed at a bad call, I want to know about it. So, anyways,
Yep.
Terry Collins, ass in the jackpot, number one on my list. Who you got?
I mean, I really can anybody as much as there was some other good ones, like I remember that minor league manager who was laying behind the mound, hurling the chalk like it was a grenade, and he was in a bunker. I think the clip that you sent me, what's his name, the Pirates manager, he took first base and like fucking threw it into the dugout. Like he was just like, fuck it, I'm taking this with me. You guys ain't playing this game no more. But I mean, I hate to be stale and not have something different, but that Terry Collins, that clip will go down in history is like one of the best mic'd up, basically one of the best clips in MLB history, because
Oh, yeah.
there was, like you said, so many one-liners from it, and then the situation that obviously I have ties to that situation as well as you do, from Chase Utley and whatever. So it just that's my number one too. There can be no. He was so fired up, and I love that he was fighting for his boy. I need a manager that's gonna ride or die for me as well, and call an umpire a bitch and say he's a fucking cocksucker and all those things. Tune in, kids. Listen for educational reasons only, not for our verbiage. But yeah, that shit was hilarious. And I'm glad you sent it to me, because it made me laugh yesterday when I tuned back in. And because it was like 2 minutes long of just Terry, maybe even longer, of Terry
Dude, it
Collins
was
just going
long.
off.
Yeah, it was
So
long.
yeah, I'm team that there'll never be one that tops that. I really don't think there will be, just because of, like you said, the one-liners that we got from that, it was the best. So I agree.
Speaking of one-liners, and this one, like, I appreciate it, but I also think it was a little bit staged. Was when Aaron Boone came out and he was talking about I got fucking savages in the box, and he was like,
Yeah,
that one was a little bit canned for me, but I still liked it because it produced a lot of T-shirts.
yeah,
And it just, I mean, it sounds cool. Like, obviously, I think he was doing that just because he was getting a little bit of clout for his boys.
for
And
sure.
like, oh, look at our, the fan base obviously ate that shit up and loved it.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I got that on there too. That was memorable. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. The Savages in the box, I like that. I wish that was something I could have put on a T-shirt for the Dodgers. Like, I wish Dave Roberts said that, because it made for a dope. That is a fucking great saying. And let me just say, if there's any baseball franchises out there that just want to hire me to have those explosive moments, like I just sit in the dugout and wait for the skipper to get pissed off about a call, and he just taps me on the shoulder and I go out on the field, you will have a highlight reel for a century if you allow me to go out there and just go off. Because the one thing that I'm good at in life, I'm not good at many things. Really, I'm not good at anything except this, and it's ranting. So if you allow me to just be the rant guy, like, I'm just like, Dave Roberts is like, go get him, Jesse. And I just like run. He just releases I'm like a pit bull on a chain, and he just pulls
Choker
off the
chain.
fucking, yep, he just pulls off the chain. And I sprint out of the dugout, and I go off. I'm willing to do that. And I will take minimal pay, um, because it will be my live stream to just yell at an umpire.
How soon into the tirade are you going with the throw your hat, turn it around backwards, a la Earl Weaver, or are you just going to keep the hat on, go nose
Nope.
to nose, bill to bill with him?
It's coming off. As soon as I come out of the dugout, I am throwing the hat with it. Yeah, as soon as I come out, it's getting frisbeed into the crowd for maximum effect.
Yeah.
And I need to be able to, because with the bill, I'm limited to my social distancing of the 6 inches that is the bill. But when I'm not wearing a hat, I am going to be spitting directly into the umpire's mouth as I'm telling him how incorrect his call is and how much he sucks at his fucking job, and on and so on based off of the situation. So yeah, hat's coming off. I might even during the argument even maybe unbutton a couple buttons of my uniform just so my chest can come so I can fully extend my chest, and make sure that I can bump him with that a couple of times.
Yeah, that's always
which
good.
is why I'm also working on my my chest so that I can widen it like yours.
Width and depth,
Yep. So yeah, I'm as much dramatics as I can add during that confrontation. I'm bringing it all. I'm throwing them all, the whole thing in the kitchen sink, as the kids say.
Yeah, and not to mention, it would probably be a lot like a hockey fight where it gets the boys going on the bench, as they say. It'd get the boys going. Also, I just got to say, too, those umpires that stand in there and take it and they start, woofing back, I fucking love that shit, man. Give me that, like the ones that want to run away and kind of, like they got to let their umpire buddies come and take, get them away from me. Get out of here, you sissy. How about theyese umpires that they're like, no, I'll turn my hat backwards and I'm going to spit into your mouth, you dumbass. You haven't seen. You're sitting over here on the side. You got no depth perception. You're wearing trifocals and shit. How do you know it's a ball and a strike? You couldn't hit for shit when you're in the league. You never made it past AA. You shouldn't even be a manager right now. You're the worst. So how about you, Aaron Boone, you fucking loser? Get the fuck out of here. You're probably better at basketball than you were baseball anyway because you broke your fucking knee or whatever. Get the fuck out of my face. So I love those umpires. Go back at it.
I'm with you. If you're an umpire, you got to have full ammo on every manager in the back of your head at all times for any situation that might break out. And that's what made the Terry Collins clip that much better, is that umpire, he was scared. I mean, he wasn't really saying fuck you, Terry, but he was firing back. He didn't just let Terry shit on him. He even, did you get it all out, Terry? Did you get it all out? Like, are you happy now? Like
and that worked, because that's when Terry, he had a few more things after that and then he was done. He's like, all right, well, it's not as much fun when the guy's not going to fight back.
But I'm with you. I'm team fucking. Like, if you're going to get shit on, you might as well be ready to shit back. So, and that is, I mean, it's ultimately
it's the animal kingdom out here, man. You either shit on or shit on them. Anyways, all right. So, and then obviously Lou Pinella's classic with the throwing the bases and all his shenanigans. Everybody
is Lou Pinella still alive?
Oh, don't do this to me.
Yeah,
he's still alive. No, he would have definitely.
I feel like we would have remembered that.
We would have. We would have known. Yeah, no,
a big thing.
Lou's good. Yeah, he's good. Perfect health. Stallion Lou Pinella.
Yep.
All right, and then the last thing that came to my attention right before, this is the last thing I got, and it just showed up on my radar right before we started recording, was, I don't know if you're familiar with the rap genre. There's a fellow by the name of Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Oh yeah.
You ever heard of him?
I have heard of him.
You know what he's known for in the meme
snitching
sphere? All right, so have you seen what he did?
Go ahead.
He went ahead and came at the king, as the kids say, Snoop Dogg, and called him a snitch.
Oh.
And Snoop Dogg had a video that, if we were technologically sound, I would play right here, where he basically says, "Look here, you little bitch, don't come at the dog." I am other things that he said that I can't say as in regards with my Caucasian skin tone. Basically, but he didn't really refute him or dispute it or whatever. And then I did a little more YouTube deep diving, and there may be paperwork that also talks about Snoop possibly. I mean, I'm not coming. I don't want the smoke. I'm just coming to say newscaster right now. But anyways, Snoop versus 6ix9ine. Who you got?
All right. So let me just say that I'm sure there's more than just one of these hip hop rappers, and I mean, I love rap. It's my favorite genre, but I have a feeling that a few of them have become, more than we know, have become government witnesses and maybe used a little bit of leverage that they have in terms of knowledge to keep themselves in a, out of trouble, right? But that being said, I I'm torn on the 6ix9ine situation. I'm always going to be Team Snoop because I'm not a fan of 6ix9ine, but I'm torn on his situation right now because I'm halfway between like, bro, you're a snitch, shut the fuck up. But I also am respecting the fact that he is trolling so much with the snitching, like in terms of like he's not like
He's not hiding.
no way. His new video that he just dropped, there's a 15-second clip where he like has an umbrella and he drops the umbrella in front of his face and then he pulls the umbrella back up and it's the literally, you know how like on your iPhone you can make like the animal that talks like you, like through text? It's the mouse emoji rapping his song. Like, so he's diving headfirst into this snitch thing and like being like, fuck you, like whatever, like you can say whatever you want, but I'm out here making millions. Like, and I snitched basically. So I'm like torn. I kind of respect the troll, but I'm also like, bro, you're a bitch. Like, stop acting so tough because you were probably in protective custody in jail, snitching on other motherfuckers who are badass and would probably bury you if they had the opportunity to. So you can't like, but I don't know, man. I'm torn. In terms of those two going against each other, I'm always going to be Team Snoop, because like I said, like Tekashi is just really just kind of like, I don't know. He's just riding that snitch wave a little too hard for me, but I also respect it because it's a major troll move. So I don't know. I don't know what to think, bro.
Yeah.
But that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I appreciate those 2 cents. And I'm just going to avoid it altogether. I would never go after Snoop. I don't even, other than the memes and that he has 6ix9ine like literally on his forehead, I couldn't tell you what song or rap that he does. I have no idea.
Either.
But also, the last thing I got is what led me down the whole Snoop thing was, did you see where he was in his car just letting it go?
Yeah. I don't understand where that came from or what happened or why he was jamming out. And let me just say, I'm gonna be upfront and honest. I've never seen either of the Frozens, so I don't understand a lot about it. I know that song was very popular, Let It Go, but like, what was Snoop just really hot? Like, where'd that come from? Was he just trying to help the country and like make them feel like better about it? That what was this, a motivational video? What was the reasoning behind that?
I don't know what the reason behind it. I don't know if you can classify Snoop as really high, because once you get to the highest,
there's
can
no
you even get really high after that? So I feel like he's just in a perpetual state of Snoopness.
Yes.
And but all I know is that it wasn't very long, like a minute long, and the whole time I was just smiling for I don't even know why I was smiling. He's just sitting there, not even doing anything, and he's just like listening to "Let It Go," like a Disney freaking song. Like I saw the first movie because I got a little girl.
Yeah.
And also, even if I didn't have a little girl, I probably would end up watching it because some of those Disney movies really slap. And yeah, so I just watched that video and I just freaking smiled. And I don't when I got done watching, I was like, what the hell was that? But I loved it.
Let me just say, Snoop Dogg looks like a Chihuahua, right?
Dude, the way he had his beanie and the hood and the jacket up, like his eyes were really front and center right there, like a Chihuahua might be. But again, the Let Me Just Say podcast does not want to smoke with Snoop because, as we all know, Snoop controls all the smoke, literally and figuratively, and that is where we stand. So with that being said,
we don't want any Crips coming after us.
Easy now.
I think that's what he is a Crip.
I just think he's an outstanding role model and citizen for our country.
Agreed.
God,
Snoop for 2024 or whenever the next president comes up. When is the next election? This year?
This year, I think. Yeah.
We get a new president this year, maybe. Is that how that works?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's possible if enough people vote for the other guy,
someone else,
or gal, or somebody, whoever's running. Yeah. So with that being said, that concludes my list of topics. I don't have a timer on my phone. Yep. I don't know how long we've been. Oh yeah, 1 hour 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any parting shots you would wish to present?
I don't. We think we covered all the major topics that I was interested in talking about this week, that I could think of off the top of my head. We do have We do have some fans that called into the show, but we are running at we are running at an hour and a half. Let me just see
How
what
many of
that
those
looks.
calls are spam?
Um, so it's actually
Because
not
if
that
you
bad. We
play,
only have 5 voicemails. 2 of them being David, and then we do have a couple of texts. So we can probably plow through these pretty quick. So we don't want to leave people hanging. They call in.
yeah, we
So
appreciate them.
let's, yeah. Let me see.
Jesse is flashing his iPhone 11 in my face with
Yeah.
all his
So
cameras. That's
first,
very nice.
first text message we got is from friend of the program, also a one half of the Chatting Average podcast. He goes by the name of Alex, aka Riley Rakes. He said, "Loved y'all's Braves segment from this week," which I don't remember. Did we talk about the Braves last week? I don't fucking. We
Let me
probably
go. I have
slandered.
to go back to my
We
notes.
probably slandered them, but fuck the Braves. Also, he said, continuing, he needs a Three Stooges T-shirt. By the way, which is our 3 favorite idiots that call in, and by idiots I mean that with all love and respect,
Oh, for
David,
sure.
Ray, and Chris. So he said he's waiting for that, but he had a weird dream where this is Alex. He said I had a weird dream where Jesse had the whole Twitter crew over to a house. If y'all had a baseball player house party, who would y'all invite? And why would Joe's first pick be Daryl Strawberry? It says I'm sure. It says I'm sure Belly would bring the weed. Can't invite Altuve because stuff would be missing the next day. And he said, "Love y'all." And then also he sent more texts. Also, your love of car restoration shows. Describe me in vivid detail what Exhibit would do to your cars if he were to pimp your ride. And he has more texts. Okay, last text. I just want to say that y'all have some sweet traps. And then Joe Twitter me. Uh, so, uh, so to recap, we are asked with who would be our first pick to our baseball player party invite. What would Exhibit do to our cars? And we both have sweet traps. So I'll go first. My first invite to a baseball player party would be, let me see. I'm gonna go with Mike Schmidt because he once drank like 77 beers on a plane flight across country. Right? That was Mike Schmidt.
Was that Mike
That
Schmidt or was that the Red Sox Wade Boggs?
that was Wade Boggs. I'm changing my answer to Wade Boggs. Thank you for filling in my stupid brain. So my first invite is Wade Boggs because that motherfucker is gonna be partying. And then
Yeah.
hold on. Oh, sorry. What Exhibit
Uh,
would do to my ride? Um, sheesh. I think I would ask him to create a car that had 1,000 TVs in it so I could watch every baseball game at all times while I drive unsafely throughout the road. I can't think of anything else.
1,000 TVs though. There's at most 15 games going.
Okay,
So
15 TVs and artificial grass on the inside so that I can feel like I'm actually playing.
yeah, that's all I would want. I would want him to just do the interior of my truck with leather, like you make gloves out of, so I just get that smell.
Oh, that's a great one. Wish I
Yeah,
thought of
and
that.
then who I would invite. Man, I don't know why. Like, I got Yasiel Puig on the brain, but he just seems like a fun dude. Like
Yeah,
what's his nickname? His Spanish nickname? Like
wild
the
horse.
horse?
Yeah.
Huh? Wild horse? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he's a wild. You tell me you don't want a wild horse at your house party? I mean,
Um,
everything's gonna be fucked up by the time the night's like your mom or your wife is gonna be super pissed when they get home
yeah.
because everything's gonna be broken. There's gonna be like people everywhere, condoms all over everything. You know, it's just gonna be a wild time. And
Mhm.
I don't condone wild rompous sex all over the place because this is a kids podcast and obviously so yeah, I'm gonna go with Yasiel Puig and I want my ride to be smelling like a Rawlings baseball glove.
I like your answers. All right. Well, thanks for the text, Alex. Appreciate you. If you guys
Thank you,
don't
Riley
listen
Riggs.
to their podcast, Chatting Average, we would appreciate if you continue to not listen to it and just listen to ours.
Because if you need Braves knowledge, you come to this podcast if we're
Yeah.
being
We
serious. I
will
mean,
give you everything Braves related that you need to know. Just
because
stay tuned. It's on the next episode.
Exactly. Let me just say also that this podcast has 100% representation of people that have never put an egg in a microwave for human consumption.
Speaking of that, the next text message we have comes from Cameron, aka Big Chop Man. So that was a great segue. Joe did not know that this was coming up. So we're just fucking podcasting champions, bro, and we just know how to run a podcast, unlike you two guys. So it says, "Hey guys, Cameron here, aka Big Chop Man, and this is Joe. You and I were just becoming best of friends on Twitter, and then you leave. What the hell?" And then it says, "Still love you and Jesse. Take care, guys." So he doesn't really have any questions. And his answer, I'm assuming he's asking why you left. Which, Cameron, you didn't have to listen to this whole show to find out because we started with that. So, but we appreciate the text message. And as always, like I said, do not tune into their podcast because they're talking about the Braves, and who wants to hear about that shit? So, just kidding.
And also, sorry. Also listen to, or if Cam wants to continue our best friendship, he can also find me at Giuseppe on YouTube.
Yep.
And various Instagram and Snapchat accounts. And if you're man enough, shoot me a Facebook friend request. How about that?
Yeah. Yep. But don't, because he's my best friend. So fucking stay away, bro.
Yeah, and that's true. I can't have best friends with the street cred of microwaving eggs.
All right. Last text message is from another friend of the show, Leslie. She says, a follow-up question to last week, because remember last week she asked us about our favorite TV program, I believe. And we both agreed that we are big fans of HGTV. And she said, since you guys watch HGTV shows, do you think you're handy around the house? Are you good with a hammer and a screwdriver? And then she said, little heart, blue heart emoji, you guys. So I'm going to let you go first. Are you a handy fellow when it comes to home improvement?
Okay, so I'm handy to an extent. My wife is the handy person in my relationship. I will say that the most proudest achievement I've done by myself without any supervision was one time I did an outlet. I replaced an outlet, and also I hung the toilet paper roll thing.
Yeah.
You know, the little, we got to do the thing. I installed that into the wall nice and even. I mean, the level was like that bubble was right in the fucking middle. That little green bubble looked just like when you're texting a Samsung guy. It was right there. And so I did that. But with my wife, I mean, me and my wife are unstoppable duos when it comes to home improvement. We've in this house we're at now, we've replaced a microwave, dishwasher, oven. We've replaced the water heater. Yep. I don't know. That's not a big deal or anything.
Yeah,
and
it
then
is.
just last week, I know I said it because it's like not a big deal. I know. Anyways, all right. And then last week we did the toilet. So
also don't forget that you removed the shutters and painted them, but never put them back.
Oh man, if we want to go down the HOA thing again,
no, we don't. Okay, so Leslie, in regards to me, I am handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. We protect any stealing of his property, and we damn good too. But when it comes to hammer and nails and like around the house shit, your boy is a kind of guy that just says that looks level with his eyeballs, and he moves on from that project. I am not handy. I don't like if you put a hole in the wall right now and I try to patch it, I will get the job done. It will look like a 6-year-old slapped the putty on the wall to do it. I am just not that guy. I will pay a handyman to come into the home and fix anything if I need it done. And it kind of hurts me as much as like when I said last week, I'm not a car guy. I can't really fucking do anything when it comes to cars. I guess I'm just not a real man. I'm now starting to realize that I'm not handy on cars. I'm not handy in the house. The only thing I'm really handy with is my own dick. So I'm starting to realize that I suck at shit. And you guys are starting to hurt my feelings with these questions because I'm really second guessing myself in regards to being a man. So nope, I'm not handy. I can put a nail in the wall, but like half the things that are hung around my house, they're probably not even close to hitting a stud. Like all these pictures that you see around me in the Man Cave podcast, they're literally probably just hanging on drywall right now, like just waiting for an earthquake to fall off the wall. I probably haven't hit a single stud with a single screw or nail in this whole in the whole entire house. And I mean, that's just, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
The only studs that I see and that I hit the mark with is the one that's across the video Skype screen right now, and that's Joe. So thanks for the text, Leslie. We appreciate you. But nope, nothing fucking handy with me here. So into voicemails. Let me just see what we got. This one's gonna be a short one.
Jesse, you're so annoying with your deep, dark voice. Anyway, show us your tracks. Or would you ever watch hentai?
So that was a voicemail from a friend of the show. I don't know whether you ever followed her. Her name is Tori. She became a fan of our show. She's a friend in real life with Ray. And I don't know if you heard that, but she said, what she said was that I was annoying with my deep voice. So I assume that she's meaning like when I lower my voice to talk to the female guests or listeners, not guests, because we don't have guests. But Tori, I don't understand why this voice is annoying to you, but if that's your, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I'm unfortunately not going to show my traps to you guys because that's on my OnlyFans account. So if you want to see my traps, either just go to Twitter because I've probably tweeted out a shirtless photo, or log into my OnlyFans account and see it there. But thanks for the voicemail. And listen, girl, I'm sorry that you're annoyed by this voice, but God gifted me with these vocals, and if I don't use them, then I feel like I'm wasting the abilities that he's given me. So thanks for the call.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Tori.
All right. So let's see. We got our good buddy, David, calling in.
What's up, Jesse? What's up, Joe? It's David. So, I was listening to the last episode and listening to the fast food rankings, and I had some problems. And let me just say, how you forgot about Jack in the Box is absolutely astonishing. Because, Joe, I know you're straight edge, to the T, not to the T, maybe to, I don't know. You guys can figure out a better metaphor for that one. That would be my question. Come up for a better metaphor for not straight. Whoa, this is way off. Sorry, Joe.
Joe's now gay.
Sexuality there. My bad. But, Jesse, as a stoner, Jack in the Box literally has 6 munchie meals. They put mozzarella sticks on hamburgers, and you get half curly, half regular fries, and tacos, and a soda, and it's $6. They're asking for stoner. Be like, yo, you got $6? Let's hang out, and whatever. It's a good time. Burger King isn't for poors. It's just shitty. I don't know what to tell you. It sucks. I don't have anything better than that. It's not for poors or whatever. You got the same thing. Also, if I guys do fast food, because I got a burger today, and it was the little burger, and I got the little fries, and it was $15. Granted, it was not a little burger, it was not a little amount of fries, it was still a very massive amount of fries. But it's not comparison. Also, how Taco Bell didn't even give an honorable mention. Just so many things wrong. I don't know where this voicemail went wrong. Probably from the beginning. I have a headache. I'm driving home. Shit that Jesse's get through, but I'm taking the side road. So I'm not as angry as he is watching guys do nothing for Caltrans, but I don't know, I might hit a fucking random something. I don't know, come out with a fucking stick or someone might murder me. I don't know. If they just randomly stop talking, I could just.
And David's gone. So he made it a point to come up to me instantly after the last episode aired to give me his grievances with our list. and point out that Jack in the Box was left off. I'm not a huge Jack in the Box guy. I don't know if you guys have Jack in the Box up there, but like I've had it once or twice, but it just never has, because I didn't grow up with it. I think it just didn't become a staple of my fast food visiting locations. So I respect it. He's right. It very much is Kate. Are you okay? Are you about to get mugged? Joe's
No,
looking around feverishly
keep-
throughout the cab of his truck, looking out windows. He looks like Lauren, my friend from Twitter, and also real life when she gets high, and then I can tell she's super paranoid. And she's like, I can just feel her vibe that she's looking out the curtains of her house, like looking out. But he's like, for the whole voicemail, he's been looking around, looking out windows. Is everything okay?
Let me just explain. There was a guy that was really determined to put his truck and trailer into a certain spot. And when I say he came within like a nose hair of this guy's mirror that was already parked there that he was trying to swing around, that was it. And he was, I mean, he had the whole Blue Parrot headset on and everything. He was bound and determined to try and get in there. Finally, he quit. And then he pulled up to one more spot. And he was going to try and go for that. And then he gave up. And then I just saw he pulled like a massive U-turn or something. I don't know where he went, but I just didn't want him anywhere near my truck. Now, that's a good segue for what I'm about to promote right now. If you go to my YouTube channel, I explain a very similar situation that happened to me this morning at approximately 3 a.m. Local time, where I had an encounter of my own of an idiot that was bound and determined to get into the spot next to me. I will not go into any further detail. You can check my YouTube channel, Giuseppe, for that. It's my latest video.
Have you had any verbal altercations that have become close to physical, or you had to raise your voice with any other in your history of being behind the wheel? Have you had any of those type of circumstances where you've had to be like, yo, chest up, like you're an asshole, or anything like that?
No, most I get is while driving, I get a lot of middle fingers and that stuff. But I'm pretty good at maintaining it. It takes a lot for me to get that.
Yeah, I could see your composure is not very often.
I'm able to be like, I can figure out where the consequences of my actions are going to be in the moment a lot of the times. So I know, like, if this goes down and I end up like, murdering this guy, that won't be worth it if I end up in prison for the rest of my life. So
sure.
But yeah, no, I don't really, like, even last night when I was telling that guy that he wasn't going to make it, and he just stared at me like I had 3 dicks growing out of my forehead. That was fun. But anyways, yeah. So
I wanted to play the clip real quick of my meltdown that David was speaking about that I posted on my Instagram, because it adds a little bit more context to this. I think I might have tweeted it out, but if you didn't see it already, here it is.
Glad we decided to close down the freeway on fucking a holiday so that you dickbags could just stand around and do nothing. Who's working? Look at it. Who is doing anything? Why am I being fucking sent in this on-ramp? Why have I been sitting in traffic for 45 fucking minutes? Nobody's doing a goddamn thing. These fucking jerk-offs are just standing here holding their dicks. Nobody's doing anything. Why do you close down the whole fucking freeway fucking to do no fucking work? I apologize for that outburst. Hopefully your kids weren't in the car or close by when you listened to that. But I'm hungry. Traffic sucks. It's 91 degrees. And I just hate construction workers because they're never working ever in their lives.
Now, I might have been, so that was like probably 20 minutes after the rant. I finally recovered, and I felt the need that I needed to issue that apology. And I also retract the statement that construction workers are never working, because some of them work, and so I apologize to the construction workers that I slandered, but most of them don't work. Let's be real. So shout out to David for the call. Let me just say, I'm still not going to add Jack in the Box to my list. And did you want to touch on that? Because you kind of went sideways with you being paranoid over there.
Yeah. I grew up with Jack in the Box. That's true. I used to fuck with it heavy. And is that what the kids still say? And I would get the Jumbo Jack. I love the Jumbo Jack. I'd also get the Ultimate Cheeseburger, which was just a bunch of meat on some buns, and they threw a bunch of mayonnaise on that stuff. But recently they've really fallen off the cliff. Our last encounter, me and my wife went to Jack in the Box. It was a shit service. The ladies that just came up from the trailer park to their job were more interested in taking smoke breaks than servicing customers. We got like the bottom of the barrel fries, so just like crumbs and some hardened grease. And so I'm probably never going to Jack in the Box again because of that. So
Yep. I mean, you get what you pay for, right? So $6.99 for all that food sounds great, but I don't really want to have a taco covered with pubic hair because the guy behind the taco station hates his life, and he's pissed that I ordered fucking tacos at 11:59 at night because I was stoned. So,
and I guess we can now cross Jack in the Box off of the list of future sponsors of our show.
Yeah. But hey, Burger King, McDonald's, who else do we say? Everybody else. We're open to deals. We will wear McDonald's t-shirts on the show that nobody sees, and we will continue to say that McDonald's, you have the best fries in the world. So,
and he was mad at Burger King. Burger King is a classic.
No. What I think he said was that we qualified it as poor's food, or possibly that's how a lot of people see it as poor's. He just said it's just shitty quality. He said it's just terrible food.
Yeah. What? Burger King?
I know. Dude, I love
the original chicken sandwich.
Oh, bro, you got me, bro. I love the Burger King original chicken sandwich. I also love the chicken sandwich, the Italian chicken sandwich with the cheese and marinara sauce. Yeah, I will fuck both of those things up every day of the week.
Yeah, David could go ahead and fuck right off that old voicemail.
He did leave another one. This one, he wanted me to leave a disclaimer because you know how he just said that I was upset and then I played my rant? Well, this is going to be a David rant, and he's waffled back and forth about me even playing this. And I don't even remember if we ever came to an agreement that he didn't want me to play it or not. So he might have said he doesn't want me to play it, but I don't remember that, so I'm going to play it. So here we go.
All right, so I'm not a true voicemail person, but fucking shit, I hate people. If you drive 70 miles an hour, but it is 70 miles an hour on the speed limit in the far left lane on a 3-fucking-lane freeway, I hope you get the coronavirus and you actually die from it. I don't want you to fucking get better. I want you to slowly fucking die from it. You fucking pieces of shit. If you drive in the far left lane and drive 70 when it's 70, I hope you are fucking the worst type of fucking person. I would rather root for the Toronto Maple Leafs than fucking sit behind your ass while you're doing fucking 70.
Okay, all right. So I have some context to that voicemail. David and I traveled a road in California that has 3 lanes on it, and it is often inhibited. Is that a word? Inhibited by tractor trailers. A lot of tractor trailers on this road, but there's also a lot of people who just love to sit in the fast lane going exactly the speed limit. And I get it. If you're a speed limit type of guy or gal, perfectly fine with that. But that's what the middle lane and the right lane are for. If you're going to just go one speed in the left lane, you need to realize that you are a complete asshole. But Joe has a take on this because he is a champion of the road, and I respect his opinion on traveling. So go.
I don't have a take on I just want you to start calling it the hammer lane.
Okay,
not the left lane.
You're right. I remember you said that one time, and I'm perfectly fine with that because I like that. So get your slow. I'm with David. He might have been, maybe he was lost in the moment, and he probably regrets saying that you should die slowly of coronavirus. Because I didn't understand when he said he had to have a disclaimer on the voicemail of what he was saying. But as I listened, I totally now understand that he wished death upon people. But I don't think he meant it that much, as I think he just is frustrated and tired with people being in the hammer lane when you're not hammering. So if you're not hammering, get your slow ass out the hammering lane. And I'm with him because, boy, let me just say, I've traveled that road 5 days a week, and there's probably 3 or 4 times a week where I have somebody clogging that shit up when I'm just ready to go. And I'm not doing 95. But if I want to hit 75, 76 in a 70 mile an hour zone, get the fuck out of my way and let me go 76. You're causing problems for me. So David, we're going to put a disclaimer that you are not that terrible of a person. You do not wish death upon people. But Joe, what's your take on the hammer lane? And like, I know you get frustrated with cars, and what do you guys call, as a trucker, civilian drivers? First off, is there a name for them? Funny name?
Just four-wheelers. We call them four-wheelers.
All right.
But like in a really condescending voice.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your take on the hammer lane and clogging it up with going exactly the speed limit?
Yeah, so those fuck faces that do that stay in the hammer lane, and that's all they do is 70, and they don't even try to pass anyone because it's actually the passing lane. That's what you're supposed to do legally. That creates another side effect that I hate is when, and I noticed this when I first started driving to California. Y'all are the best at this. Is just whizzing up the right lane and just zigzagging all over the place, because those idiots in the hammer lane that stay there and don't make a move, they're causing all this other shit where these other people that would be in the hammer lane doing 95 and not causing big problems for everybody else. Now they're like, well, fuck you. I'm getting where I need to go, and I'm just going to zigzag all over this motherfucker until I get to where I'm going.
Yep. So one asshole creates another probably 15 to 20 assholes, because they have to then become the asshole to combat the assholeness of the person doing 70 in the hammer lane. So just so you know, when you're in that lane, let me just say you're creating more chaotic fucking asshole drivers by just staying there and not getting into the middle lane and allowing us to pass you. So David, your anger is fully warranted. I don't know about the death threats, but the rest of it we totally understand, bud. So I got two more quick ones. It wouldn't be a week on the Let Me Just Say podcast without Ray calling in. So let's see what we got here.
Hey, Jesse. Hey, Joe. I have a serious question.
Ooh.
How the fuck does Jesse manage to live rent-free in people's heads?
It's not where I thought it was going.
That's it. That's the question. Like, bro, that's how you know you semi-made it. You made it onto a fucking podcast where people were. What was the term he used? Disclaimer.
Mediocre.
Yeah, like how do you do it? That's I gotta say, man, I gotta give you props on that shit. I thought it was hilarious. I think you guys should like join each other's podcasts and just talk shit to each other. But then again, they don't seem to like going at you directly. And then when they do, it's really fucking lame. But I just want to say, I thank you for the entertainment. You know, the timeline is really what's helping during this quarantine, and it's been quite funny. So I really like the shirts that you dropped the other day. I'm still debating on if I want a shirt or a sweater or hoodie. My bad. I'm gonna figure it out, but don't worry, get something. But yeah, that shit's just comedy. Like, I think the guy likes you. I think they want to date you. I don't know if you swing that way, but I think they're into you, bro.
No.
Anyway, you guys have a nice day. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. Fuck this quarantine. And yeah.
All right. Well, first off, no free ads. Fuck that podcast. I don't even know the name of it, and I will not be promoting it. And no, they will never come on our show because we are a mediocre podcast, and we do not allow other podcasts that are below mediocre to ever come on our air. Second, I don't know how I can stay rent-free in people's head. Probably because I'm a little bit of a loose cannon, and I'm a little bit of an asshole, and I say things that are on my mind, and they often rub people the wrong way. And then I tweet out a shirtless selfie, and sometimes when you get a few people who are complimenting your selfie, then creates jealousy. And I'm not saying that's the case. I have no idea. I don't know why this happened, other than maybe they were trying to ride the clout train. But Ray, thank you. Thank you for the call. And I don't know. Do you have a take on, I know that you weren't involved in this and they just slandered one half of the podcast and left you alone. But I mean, what if you were outside looking in and you didn't become my best friend, a year ago, and then kind of give me a pass for some of the shit that I say because you love me? Do you know why? Like why they would do this, or why I'm living rent free in this guy's head? Or
it's probably something where maybe you crossed him at some point in your guys' little interactions, and he's holding a grudge, maybe it's because, like you say, you just kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say toe the line because, man, if whatever you tweet is basically your opinion or your thoughts at the time, man, who cares? Like, it's on you that if you're going to get offended by it or you're going to get triggered by it. Like, I own up to it. Like, when people say shit to me or say shit about me that gets me triggered, that's on me. Like, I'm the one that's allowing myself to get all butthurt.
Yep.
So I think that's where a lot of that rent-free business happens, is just people see something that you tweet or see how you act or whatever on Twitter, and they feel a certain way about it, so they just instantly become haters because maybe they take themselves too seriously. I don't know.
Yeah.
I try not to hate. I try to appreciate everybody. So.
And that's why this podcast works so well, is because I do bring the hate while you level us out. So I sort of understand it, but I also don't know why I was blindly dragged. But whatever, it is what it is. You're just propelling me in terms of, and in all reality, like with all that shit, all it did was just put more people in my corner, dude. So I thank you, I guess, like, and I appreciate y'all. So,
yeah.
But keep my name out your fucking mouth, even though you didn't say my name. All right, last voicemail, and then we're gonna wrap it up because we had 2 hours. But I saved this one for last just because I saw the first line of it and it made me laugh. I don't even know who it's from.
Gus.
Yes. I need to speak with Mr. Trapezius Muscles. I just feel
Is this
like
Kermit?
sometimes
Yeah.
you're doing a little too much. You're out there and you're putting your name out there and you're trying to make yourself look cool for Twitter followers, but at the same time, you're just clout chasing, and I am not a fan. I want you to know that. I want you to know that I am not a fan, and I am not a fan of your selfies and your trapezius muscles and your upper gluteus maximinus, because they are distracting. They are taking away from what Twitter should be, and that's why I have created my own podcast so that other people like me who are not fans of what you are doing can sound off. It will be better. I mean, we can't be any worse. But I do believe that as we go forward, everyone who enjoys what we say will follow our podcast more than you. And as I sit here on my lily pad, I want you to know that I am willing to fight you, but only for the proper hand of Miss Piggy, who broadcasts with me.
Oh man!
And
Oh man!
that will determine
Oh,
who the true podcast champion is. And therefore, as we go forward,
Oh, God.
I have laid down the gauntlet, and I have chosen the battle, and I deserve that battle with you, and I fully expect you to battle me on your podcast whenever you can. Even though it is inferior, I will still listen, because never mind. I don't want to talk about simping, but be aware that I will fight for the hand of Miss Piggy very valiantly. And I will show you on my podcast that I am better than anything you have ever done. And you are amazing, and I am not a fan. This is Kermit T. Frog signing off. Goodbye.
That dude, hey, he definitely had a fucking timer And that was 3 minutes on the button, wasn't
2 minutes and 52 seconds, bro. He towed the line. I don't even know what to say about that one, man.
You better go off. He just called you out, man. You better go off, King.
I will. I don't know. I got nothing, man. Kermit T. Frog. It sounds like an intimidating motherfucker to me, and I don't want any beef with anybody that
Hold
will.
up. Okay,
call
scratch all that. Have you ever seen Frogger? Have you ever seen the part where he doesn't make it to the other side of the truck and the truck flattens his ass? Guess what, Kermit? You try to come to these streets on these podcasting freeways and get in the hammer lane of this podcast.
You're gonna have X's for eyeballs, bitches.
Bro, they say that frog legs taste like chicken or whatever. Boy, that frog leg's gonna taste like bullshit because that's all I hear coming out your stupid little green mouth. Your teeth probably all jacked up. That's why you sound like that. You fucking little like amphibians. Are you kidding me? You guys, you rely on like the outside temperature to regulate your body core, what heat or whatever, however that works. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get a properly built exoskeleton and a spine, and then you can take Miss Piggy and you can go right back to your single wide and fuck that shit up, man. Get out of here, fucking Kermit coming at the king. You best not miss.
Imagine eating insects. Imagine eating insects for a living, for fun, and fucking trying to come at me.
I know. You like hop 3 feet at a time to get a fucking fly. Are you kidding me? Get out of here, man. All we gotta do is Grubhub that Boss Burger, and it is game time, son.
Ain't no princes ever came from frogs, bro. They came from podcast name. Let me just say. That's all I got.
Yep.
Thanks for everybody for the calls. Thanks for everybody for listening. Thanks for Joe for being an excellent host once again and coming with those fire topics. I love y'all. I love you.
Buy a shirt.
Buy a shirt. Oh, the internet wants me to let you know that they miss you and they love you. So
prove it. Buy a shirt. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to here. 4-star, 5 stars. Rate, review. Subscribe.
Yep. We got links up everywhere on the podcast Twitter feed. I just buy some more shirts. We got kid sizes. And the pizza out on the streets that Joe's buying at $5 a pop, it ain't free.
2 for $5. 2 for $5.
2 for $5. All right, man. I love you.
All right.
I'll see you when I see you.
Peace.
Bye.